After the first two events in the Middle and Far East parts of the world, we have just arrived here in Argentina for the first leg of our South American tour. And wow, how picture perfect is this? In MX2, privateer Julian Lieber arrived here with the red plate after an epic battle in Indonesia. But Siwa and Patrol, who are perhaps a little bit more used to that winning feel, are on the hunt right behind him. In MXGP, Tony Cairoli has kept that red plate since Qatar, but with only the one race in Indonesia, the battle is closer than ever. Welcome to Neuquén for the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina.
About 100 metres down to turn one, past pit lane, into a very wide open sweeping left-hander over the foxhole shot line through two single rollers, and then the very fast sweeping right that is turn two up on the pegs. We'll get chopping through there as the day goes on, over the first of three beautiful floating jumps here, the second of which is the Patagonia tabletop in the middle of this straight, then a shorter tabletop into the next sweeping right-hander over that single crest. We can rail the outside, then we have the Dragon's Back, different combination. Either way we land in this left-hander. If you go around the outside it gives you better momentum into the waves, but the inside line slightly different, but the end result is the same. You hit the city tabletop jump here, landing in the 90-degree right over that single, then a small double, and then a 180 bank left-hander. Starts to get loose and deep through here over the single, then we hit the Monster Energy step up, then we go up into the trees here, the crowd to the left hand side, that's where a lot of the noise will be. Exit there, over this first little scrub hill, over the big step up in the middle of the circuit, and then we head left through another bank turn. On the exit here you'll see a series of waves, you can triple your way in on the left hand side. Then it's a nice flowing open right-hander. The track has changed here this year over this jump. Instead of going a little bit straighter and then 90, we're straight into the rhythm section, a big 25-metre tabletop. Huge triple into the corner here, about 25 metres long, or a slightly different on-off section into the left. Through the split bomb holes, turn 12 and 13. Over a slight single, just to upset the balance of the bike before the penultimate 180. On the gas, over a small double, that might be single as the day goes on. Final turn, Monster Energy finish line jump now. Then the riders land back on the start straight to start another lap here in Patagonia.
comeback was really long. It took me 1 year complete, and I started first to work physically on my body, and then in October I started riding with the bike, and then the whole winter went well, and now we are here. Yeah, but the relationship with a lot of my trainings, Pierre Botero, he contacted me after the season if I would be interested to work with him and with Yves, with the whole process, and directly I was interested, and we started directly to work together. Yeah, I've been working with Yves de Mayra since December, and then I went back for 1 or 2 weeks home. Then we started again in January till the first GPs. He helped me with all the for riding. I have also a physical trainer in Belgium, and but Yves is always with me at the training when I go riding, when I go cycling, and yeah, it's nice to have someone like him.
I work every day with Julien. I have same the brother, you know. So Julien is a fun guy. Nice guy, he works very much, and I am happy to work with Julien. And for this year it's different, you know, it's the last season for Julien in the 250.
Yeah, the bike fits me good, I think. We know the KTM is a really strong bike, and we took that decision to ride KTM because from the standard bike it's the best one, I think, and it's the most easy bike to have to prepare for the GPs, and yeah, I think it was a good decision. My team is more like a family team. My brother is the team manager. I have one mechanic. My sisters are also helping in the team. My parents, and yeah, and Yves also. So it's a small team, but everything works good, and I really like it and enjoy it during the weekends.
MX2 race 1 burst into life under brilliant blue skies and sunshine here in Patagonia, with Jorge Prado taking the first foxhole shot of the day. Right behind him, his Red Bull KTM teammate Paul Jonas and the fast starting American Darren Sinai on the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. Ben Watson was also well placed on the Hitachi KTM, but eventually he would drop back after a fall, come home in 19th position. But up front, it was all action between the two KTMs. Jonas eventually finding his way past his young, fiery teammate. Benoit Paturel was also in there, but the championship leader, Julien Lieber, was buried after falling early on in the race. He had to rebound from 31st place, eventually came home in 16 in what could be vital World Championship points, as Thomas Kjær Olsen just wrestled his Husqvarna to stay up on 2 wheels. He was in 4th place, battling with the likes of Prado and Siwa. Benoit Paturel was on the move though. On the Yamaha, he found his way past Prado to get himself into 3rd, and then he went after Darren Sinai. The two riders then fought over 2nd position, but it was an aggressive move from Benoit Paturel eventually that got the Yamaha rider into 2nd as he found his way past the American with an audacious move at the end of the rhythm section. The American never saw it coming. Paturel all of a sudden found himself in 2nd place, chasing down Jonas. And then Sinai fell just 2 corners later. He remounted though and came home in 6th place for his best ever finish in an MX2 race. Prado had a good steady ride for third, but it was his teammate Jonas who was victorious ahead of Benoit Patureau. Coming into race 2, Benoit Patureau, the Khmer Yamaha rider, was the new championship leader after the misfortunes of Julien Lieber. But Patureau suffered a poor start, rounding out lap 1 outside the top 20, as once again Prado took another foxhole shot. This time Jeremy Seewer was well placed on his Suzuki World MX2 machine in third, behind the 41 of Paul Jonas. The three riders then started to pull clear of the rest of the field that included Lieber, Bernardini and Sinai, Brent Van Donnick and Adam Sterry. Once again though, it didn't take long, Jonas, to find his way past his teammate, Prado. The two Red Bull KTMs put on a show, but Seewer was right there, ready to pounce. Lieber was having a great ride, but was no match for the guys ahead of him. Maybe that's the difference between a privateer and a factory bike. The two Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas came crashing down after Thomas Covington mistimed his move on his teammate Thomas Kjær Olsen. Both riders had to battle back through the field. Meanwhile, Seewer was up into second with that move on Prado. Darian Sinai found his way past Lieber to get himself into fourth around the lap 7 mark, which is another great move and a great ride from the American. Darian Sinai in his rookie season in MX2. Benoit Patureau climbed as high as 11th before crashing down in that same difficult right-hander. He fell down to 15th, eventually come back to 9th for more vital championship points. But maybe it was an opportunity lost for the Frenchman on the Khmer Yamaha. Paul Jonas, though, went on to take a second moto win. It was an emphatic double moto victory for him. Seewer second, Prado third, and that was also the overall podium. Jonas, Prado and Seewer. Seewer now, though, takes over the championship lead. He will have the red plate on the Suzuki in Lyon. Once again in Argentina, before taking to the track, the riders had the opportunity to discover some specialities of this part of the world. They started by enjoying some local food before being invited to dance the traditional Argentinian tango, with the luckiest riders ending their day with a boat trip along the Corontoso River. The perfect way to kick things off here in Patagonia.
Obviously on the MXGP side we had Tim Geiser performing quite well after he came off the MX2 bike. But this side, quite honestly, they follow a more technical development role. Oh yeah, they're full on HRC team, you know, it is the MX2 official team. But their abilities are different to the MXGP team. And that's why it was felt better that we put them this side, the MX2, because it's something they've worked on the quiet for a number of years actually. So, you know, it just made a lot of sense to do it that way. Okay, we've got two young riders. Seveline, been around for a bit, should step up quite well. You know, I think Qatar, quite a good result. It's a surprise to quite a few of us actually.
I start early with motocross. I think my first bike is when I have 3 here, and I start the first race at 6. I do Italian championship with 85, 150 with Honda, and after European championship, and the last year I do only the European race GP. And this year with HRC complete World Championship.
The MX2 team is really good, and we don't change we don't have big change in the team. We stay with the same people, and the rider is really nice to work with Michele. He wants to improve a lot. He's pushing. He's working really hard. So I'm quite happy to work with him. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best to help him to improve, to grow, and we will see in the end of the season. And the moment I'm really happy about the first races.
Yeah, the team is like one family. I start with 150, and it's 9 years with the Martin family. I'm a policeman in Italy. But is a sportsman for policemen. It's a group. We can training sometimes together, like with other riders like Lupino, Chiara in motocross, and it's nice. It's a nice group, important in Italy.
HRC and Honda have a sort of academy where they try and bring on the riders from the youth in Japan. So Notsuka is Japanese champion, and he'll be coming and just learning, but it's a big learning curve for him at the moment.
I started motocross maybe when I 5 years or 6 years old, because my father, he's a rider, enduro rider. My dream was to be a part of this. My goal to get a good result to HRC.
The MX2 team, we want to build this, obviously, we want to grow our own young riders. So we have to offer them a really competitive 250. And that's why this team is in process now to grow that and work in that manner.
Fantastic atmosphere around this Patagonia circuit at the start of MXGP Race 1. Glenn Holdenoff with the first foxhole shot of the day, closely followed by the two Hondas of Geiser and Bobryshev. They were soon passed though. So too was Jeremy Van Horbig, the Monster Energy Yamaha, splitting the two HRC boys on the opening lap. Holdenoff quickly faded back to 5th as DeSalle came through. He was also pushed by Arno Tonus on the Wilvo Yamaha. Gauthier Paulin got out of shape, and Tony Cairoli caught the rear wheel of the Frenchman and went down. He was outside of the top 20, having to charge through. These were points being lost for the championship leader. Found his way past his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings as he made his way closer towards the top 10. And he got his head down and continued to charge. forwards as Bobryshev did his best to keep Desal at bay. The battle up front was intense. Before long, Geiser stamped his authority and started to pull clear. Tonus, though, number 4, his race would come to an end after 2 laps. A broken foot peg on the Yamaha ruled him out of contention. With Van Horbig in second, and a little bit further back, Roman Fevre found himself having to fight on. He made his way past Max Anstie to move himself up into 5th and went after Van Horbig, Bobryshev, Desal. Desal was looking good on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. So too was Bobryshev. He was in good fighting mood. But so too was the number 461 of Roman Fevre. He made that move on Bobryshev to get himself into 4th, but couldn't do anything about Clement Desal on the number 25, who maintained track position in 3rd. The Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas came home line astern with Paulin, Anstie and Nagel rounding out 6th, 7th and 8th positions in the race. But it was Geiser who won race 1, Van Horbig 2nd, Desal 3rd. His win in race 1, Geiser was in no mood for messing around. Another great start by the HRC rider, but once again it was Glenn Koldenoff on the Red Bull KTM that took the Fox hole shot. Just behind him was Clement Desal, but Desal marched quickly into the lead. He was pursued by the 2 HRC boys once again, Geiser and Bobryshev, as they all passed the 259 of Glenn Koldenoff. Jeremy Van Horbig also found his way through, so too did Sean Simpson. Simpson gave chase to Roman Fevre as Desal tried to pull clear. Van Horbig tried to make his way around the outside of Bobryshev. He succeeded at the end of the straight to get himself into 3rd place. As Hurlings had a much better start this time. He was running inside the top 6, but would eventually fade back to 7th. But not before he put in some pretty impressive moves though. The 3 Yamahas of Fevre, Simpson and Tonus all got connected together. Fevre on the right stayed up, but the 2 Wilvos of Tonus and Simpson fell to the ground, just like Tony Cairoli. Cairoli fell from 11th down to 15th. He would have another race on his hands to get himself inside the top 5 before the checkered flag fell. A few mistakes started creeping into Desal's game, and eventually he had to yield to the hard-charging Tim Geiser, who hit the afterburners and charged into the lead. Desal then started to fade. 1 or 2 scary moments allowed Van Horbig to catch and then pass his fellow Belgian as he charged into 2nd just before the halfway mark. And then Desal came under intense attack, eventually fading down to 10th as Paulin, Bobryshev and the rest started to home in on him. Paulin made that move on Desal. That was going to be good enough to get himself up into 4th, and in the closing stages of the race, Bobryshev charged past Van Horbig to get himself into 2nd for what turned out to be a Honda HRC 1-2 with Geiser bringing home his teammate in 2nd. Van Horbig was 3rd, Paulin 4th, Cairoli made it back to 5th in the end, and the overall Grand Prix belonged to Tim Geiser, with Van Horbig on the podium for the first time this year. So too Evgeny Bobryshev, and it's Geiser who now holds the red plate as we head to round 4 in Leon, in Mexico. What a great day we had here in Patagonia.
What a weekend with some great racing here in Argentina. After 3 events in MX2, we now have our 3rd red plate holder in the form of Jeremy Seewer. In MXGP, Tony Cairoli had a tough weekend and Tim Geiser claimed his first GP overall of 2017, retrieving that red plate once again for his Honda. He's now 10 points ahead of Tony, which means the battle is well and truly open. Next stop, Mexico in 2 weeks' time for the MXGP on Leon.
Yeah, but now we must go, Lisa.
Okay. Hasta luego. Bye.